You know, you don't like to play uphill where they can do anything, control of that. You know, you like to play from being ahead. Then you can really let things go and be aggressive.
2nd and 10. They're looking like they're going to blitz. But they don't. Martin makes the catch.
Yeah, it was interesting before the game. Al Davis came in here, and he was saying, you know, this guy right here, Tony Martin, is a good receiver. He said that he may have a big game, and he was talking about that move right there. That's exactly what he's talking about. He says he has this move where he comes in, and he looks like he's going inside, and then you get your corner up, and then he goes back out. That's the exact move that he was talking about. And he said Tony Martin does that as well as anyone.
And he dragged that right foot, just got the toe down to stay in bounds. Chandler drops again. Now he has to come out of the pocket, and now he's going to take off. Chandler. Fumble, but they say he was down. He was down. Bernie Kukar right on the spot. Motioned him down.
Yeah, but it's going to be enough for a first down.
Pretty close. That's
Robbie Toback. That's their center.
Yep. And he's the guy who does all the play calling for the blocking assignments.
Well, yeah, you know, you call a play, you don't know how the defense is going to line up, so the center has to make the line adjustments on the line. And you're gonna see Robbie Toback is number 61 right there. He's just his own guy. What happens is Gene Williams is down there in the bottom, and he just goes right over his right guard, Gene Williams. You know, their backup center, Dave Waddell,
is not active
today. That's always a gamble. You know, when you activate a team, you decide who's going to be active and who's not active. You take a gamble to go a guy short, and then you hope that something like this doesn't happen to the guy you went short with.
His place has been taken by Adam Schreiber, who has played 15 years.
Yeah, Adam Schreiber is just an old special teams center. I mean, I don't mean old. Well, old too, yeah, 15 years, but he's not really a center. I mean, what he is he's a snapper. He's a long snapper.
There's a guy who won't be back, Shannon Sharp. He caught the one pass, set up the first Denver touchdown.
So much of the game plan was going to evolve or revolve around Shannon Sharp.
1st and 10 Atlanta. Fake is to Jamal Anderson. They drop it out to Kozlowski, and Kozlowski's down at about the 10.
See, this is the thing that they do so well, you know, that the Atlanta Falcons do so well, is that play pass. And that's why it's important that they continue to run. Even though they're down 17-3, they still run, because not only will run and give them some time of possession, keep the Bronco offense off the field, but it'll set up these play passes if they run so effectively.
2nd and 4. And now Chandler comes back in the shotgun. 4 wide receiver set up for Atlanta. Chandler retreats. As time goes corner. Incomplete. Broken up right at the last second. Intended for Harris. Hit by Torrey James, who replaced the injured punt returner.
And this is good coverage here.
Yep.
You're going to see Torrey James is just up there, and he gets his hand on that right hand on there. Now he turns and looks, and that ball stayed in the air a little too long, because that was a heck of a defensive play, but that ball was really thrown behind him.
It'll bring up another 3rd down situation. Atlanta's 1 out of 5 in situations like this. Shotgun formation. Chandler retreats. As time goes deep. Batted away. Intended for Martin. Hit by Gordon, who's come back into the contest.
And here's Gordon right there, and Martin. In fact, they both played together with the San Diego Chargers. Martin is trying to push off a little, and had that ball been thrown a little higher. So he's a little too close to the sideline here. Had he given him room to the outside here, Chris Chandler could have thrown that ball up over his head, but he kind of pins himself into that sideline, and there's no place for Chris Chandler to throw the ball.
Morton Anderson missed from 26, made from 32. Will try field goal number 3 today. This one's good. From 28, Anderson makes it 17-6. Fox is throwing the Super Bowl postgame party of the year. It all kicks off with a sneak preview of Family Guy. Then Homer Simpson teams up with two. I think I can safely say no. I didn't ever think that. Did you?
No, but there's a bad sight there. Yep. Bobby Toback, the center. When they get on that cart, good things don't happen after you get on the cart.
You usually don't get off by yourself. Wydell is inactive. Wydell, who just came over and said something to Robbie Toback. Anderson set to kick it off. On Hebron. Back deep for Denver. Anderson's short kick. Hebron's going to handle it about the 12. To the 27. And then Denver takes over there. 2:15 left to play in the first half. Here comes Toback. There's Shannon Sharp with a much disgusted look on his face. Here's the injury right there.
That was Ray Buchanan came in, from the other side and got Shannon Sharp right on that left knee. This was a lot like 2 weeks ago when, remember, Atlanta was down to Minnesota.
McCaffrey was the man in motion. Handoff is to Davis, and Davis breaks out of the pack. Picks up about more than enough for a first down, about 15 yards, really. A huge hole again.
Yeah, well, he gets in there behind Dan Neal and Harry Swain over there on that right side. His fullback, Howard Griffith, makes a good block on Jesse Tuggle right at the hole. He has the patience. He waits. Crap right through it.
2 minutes. Atlanta 6, 2 minutes to go in the first half. Super Bowl 33. I don't care how many times you've been here to the Super Bowl, as it gets bigger and bigger, and you walk in and look down at the spectacle it's become, it's still a shock.
At one time it was a game, and then it was a Super Bowl Sunday, and now it's a Super Bowl week, and just everything leads up to this. And to me, it's the greatest game in all sports.
Davis circling behind Elway back, and he cuts back and is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. You just look at the people getting ready for halftime. And this is only a fraction of the group. J.B. Terry, Howie, and Chris, of course, will be along. First half analysis. Stevie Wonder, Gloria Estefan, and Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
What I think for every one of those groups, we're talking about 4 groups here, and I think they all need their own stuff. So you not only have stuff for one, but you have to have 4 groups of stuff out there.
You got to put it together and get rid of it, too. Empty backfield situation. Elway up the middle. Pass caught. Byron Chamberlain.
Like we said, we knew that Shannon Sharp was going to have a big day and was a big part of this offense. He gets injured, so Byron Chamberlain comes in, and he's the guy. And as I said earlier, John Elway doesn't care. I mean, whoever it is, he's just going to go after him. Ed McCaffrey hasn't caught a pass yet. And you see why? You see what happened there? He was coming out across. He didn't see number 97, Cornelius Bennett, and Old Biscuit put him right on his back.
Chamberlain replacing Sharp. This is a Denver timeout.
That's what Denver does to you. As they run those crosses, they run them in layers. So if you come up, they throw it to the second layer. If you come way up, then they throw it deep like they did to Rod Smith. If you drop off, then they throw it to the short guy like Chamberlain. And then you have the sacrificial lamb, who in that last case was Ed McCaffrey.
And that explained well why McCaffrey hasn't caught it.
And why he got up looking at his ear hole.
Yeah. This guy sees a lot. Here comes the reverse. That's Rod Smith, and he's chased out of bounds. Played well by Atlanta.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier how Mike Shanahan, right after he sees a play, he goes to that next play. He has that board down there. He's already called the next play. Now he's going to watch and see what they do on second down and get ready to call third down. But, it doesn't make any difference. I mean, they had 17-6. He is pulling everything out in this game, and there's no way that he is going to become conservative.
He is that attacking mentality. Don't let them dictate to us what we do. We'll do the dictating. Here's Elway. Back to throw. Has time. The pass comes out. And had not Rod Smith slipped down, he was gone for enough for a first. And a timeout taken by Denver. That's all they have.
And see what he'll want to do now is he has two things. The first thing he wants to do, because he has third down here, he wants to get a first down and wants to get in field goal range. So you're not going here. You're about the 36-yard line. You don't go for the end zone. You have about 5 yards to go for a first down. So you try and pick up the first down. You're up at the line of scrimmage, spike the ball, take another play or two, and then kick the field goal.
Coming up on the Progressive Auto Insurance Super Bowl 33 halftime show, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have first half analysis. That's all underneath that Fox logo on the far side of the field. That'll all come zooming up, and all of a sudden they'll appear. There'll be a live performance by Stevie Wonder, Gloria Estefan, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy also appearing. That's all coming up on the Progressive Auto Insurance Super Bowl 33 halftime show. Is 3rd and 4.
It's a big play for Atlanta defense.
They haven't been able to stop him yet. Elway going deep. A flag on the play. Griffith stretched just over his fingertips. A flag on the play. I think they're going to get him for roughing the passer.
I think they're going to get him for holding. I think it's going to be offensive holding, against Dan Neal. I think he held Lester Archambault. He was coming at it. He just kind of put him down. I was watching Archambault, and he got close, and you could just see him jerk down out of the picture.
Flag on the play. Bernie Kukar will call it.
Yeah, it'll be holding against Neal.
If it is, it'll take him out of even Jason Elam's range for a field goal attempt.
Holding. 62 offense.
62.
The 10-yard penalty, still third down.
As John Madden said, still third down. Dan Neal guilty of holding.
Yeah, you're going to see Dan Neal. He's the right guard here. And you see, here comes Lester Archambault. And you see him, he put his left hand under his neck and pushed him with his right hand. And the referee, Bernie Kukar, was right there. And he just threw the flag right at both of them.
3rd and 14, and all of a sudden.
Jailbreak.
Yep. Atlanta's defense wasn't ready again.
No, they had the old 15-man defense.
And they called the timeout, this one.
If you can't play in this league or in this game, you can't play the old 5-5-5.
That's how they got burned on the long touchdown pass from Elway to Rod Smith. They weren't ready on the defensive side of the ball. And again, this time they called the timeout because of that. Rich Brooks runs the Atlanta defense.
Whenever you put a fullback like Howard Griffith downfield, you're going to get a linebacker having to cover him, and that's what you're looking for.
Yep.
You're looking for where you can get your back on their linebacker and get him deep.
That was Henri Crockett back there with Griffith.
And he ran pretty well with Griffith.
Yes, he did.
But that's a matchup. I mean, that's been something in the NFL that we've always looked for. Try and get a back on a linebacker, but get him spread out and get him deep. And Crockett did a good job of that coverage. Of course, it wouldn't have counted anyway. Even if he caught the ball, Dan Neal was still caught holding.
Cornelius Bennett, the other outside linebacker on the other side. He has already said if Atlanta should win, he's going to call his old Buffalo teammates. Here's
Davis, the back area.
Terrell Davis swings down to about the 45.
And I think that was big for the Atlanta Falcon defense to stop them on this drive, down 17-6, not let them get in here before halftime. And now whatever Atlanta does from here on, I still think that they are going to end this half on a pretty good note.
This is an Atlanta timeout. They have one left. Denver has used all of theirs.
And now you know, Denver goes in and Mike Shanahan, you know, we know how he scripts the first 15 plays. Now he goes in and he scripts the first 8 for the second half.
Very organized gentleman. In fact, they say he even scripts the family vacations.
Well, and he scripts what he's going to say to the team. He scripts what last night. In fact, he took, you know, in the meeting, and he showed him a highlight film that he had made the music of this year, just to remind him how good everything was, and last year's Super Bowl, and the parade, and the parties, and all that stuff, to show them the reward they get for winning.
Bruin comes to Tim White, who signals fair catch right at the 10-yard line. That is right at the borderline to where you handle it or not handle it, the 10-yard line. Football season doesn't end with the Super Bowl. There's still one more game. The Pro Bowl is next Sunday in Honolulu, Hawaii. And Denver has 9 Pro Bowl players. The Falcons are sending 5. Don't miss the action when the best players in the NFL square off for conference bragging rights. Next Sunday at 8. That's Eastern, 5 Pacific, the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, but the bragging rights are right here, right now in this second half. I think Atlanta will just run out the clock now. Although
you don't know.
It's a shotgun. I don't know. I sure would. Remember what happened to Minnesota?
Yep. The one thing you don't want is a turnover or a safety. And they almost had one.
I know it. Or you get your quarterback back in that end zone, and a penalty in the end zone is also a safety. I'm surprised that they're doing this. And again, it's just a 4-man rush, and what the Broncos are doing is they're stunning. They beat the right side of the Falcon offensive line. Watch him. Here comes the stunt right here.
Trevor Price.
Right, Trevor Price gets in there, and he just makes Chris Chandler throw that one away. Why they're doing this, I have no idea. This is the time that you just run the clock out, get out of here, and prepare for the second half.
Back in the shotgun again, however. They're showing almost a safety blitz. This is Jamal Anderson. Tripped up and gets to the 11. Atwater finally wrestles him down.
I think if this were different, you know, where you were out here in midfield and you had some room to work, but when you have 90 yards to go, I think you just kind of say, let's just kind of cool it and take it to the house here and talk about it. What they're going to do.
They got a timeout left, but they're going to let it run out. No more timeouts. They finally heeded your advice.
Well, I think after Chris Chandler got in that end zone and got knocked out like that in that blitz, I think that took Dan Reeves' heart and kind of put it up a little higher than it belonged.
You were mentioning all the bad things that could happen. You could also get your quarterback hurt.
Yeah.
We thought there'd be more than that, I think. The time of possession, 16:33 for Atlanta, 13:27 for Denver. That hasn't been too big.
Well, here's the big one right here, Pat. I think that the Falcons have only passed for 80 yards.
In the Super Bowl, Rod Smith had no catches. This year, this Super Bowl against Atlanta, he's been the man.
And you know the other irony? In last year's Super Bowl, Ed McCaffrey didn't catch a ball in the first half of that game either.
Back at the goal line, it's Von Hebron. And Hebron gets it out to about the 25. A look at the book on Terrell Davis, left, middle, and right.
Well, you know, we talked about how he runs in the middle. He keeps both hands over the ball, runs to the left, puts it in his left hand. And you can see when he's run to the left, he's gained 9 yards, 17 yards up the middle, and 39 yards. That's where he's had the most success. He's also run it the most times to the right with 39 yards.
But wherever the hole might be, if it's there, he'll take it. If it's not, he can still cut it back and get something somewhere else.
It seems like to me over the years he's more successful.
Elway, McCaffrey, and that's his first.
Yep, and that's just what Mike Shanahan was talking about. He says, well, the game isn't over yet. And I think Mike Shanahan knew that Ed McCaffrey hadn't caught a ball yet. So we said that he scripts he scripts the first 8 plays in the second half. Here we had a good play fake. Ed McCaffrey is out here. You see, he's going to run an out on Ray Buchanan. He gets Buchanan turned. He pushes off with his right hand, then his left hand. That's one way to run it out. Ray Buchanan has done a good job on it, too.
There's Elway back to throw it again. As time gets it up the middle to Terrell Davis. He sneaked out of the backfield and got...
That's the thing we talk about, layers of crosses. He was trying to get it to McCaffrey, and you're going to see that Terrell Davis is underneath. But the big thing here is watch John Elway in the time that he has. There's no pass rush here. So he can wait and look and look. He's looking for McCaffrey, and then he throws it to Terrell Davis, who almost lost the ball before he got both hands on it.
And after he gathered it back up, he lunged forward for a first down. The first and 10 at the Atlanta 45. Davis again. Not much this time.
You know what Terrell Davis was in high school, his position?
I remember.
Yeah, he was a nose tackle.
Nose tackle, yeah.
He's out of San Diego. In fact, you know, Leroy Glover, who's a nose tackle for the New Orleans Saints, said that he was a nose tackle, and he played against Terrell Davis as a nose tackle. And Leroy Glover says that he was a better nose tackle than Terrell Davis. I said, well, I'd hope so. What coach would put Terrell Davis at nose tackle?
Well, they didn't find him at Georgia, really. That is Howard Griffith who gets his pass from Elway. Elway looks very sharp. He might be going to retire, and this might be it for him. I don't know.
Well,
he looks very sharp.
You wonder why he's going to retire. I mean, part of you said he ought to retire because he's been doing this for 16 years, but then you say, how many guys do it better than him? And here he has Howard Griffith just here to the outside. He's used Griffith real well today. We've seen him block. We've seen him run for a touchdown. We've seen him catch the play pass. We saw him go deep, remember?
Almost on that one. 3rd and 1. Griffith, more than one. First down, Denver.
Probably the most that Griffith has had the ball in a long time. I mean, he's really on this team. He's just a blocker and a very good blocker. And then the second thing he would probably be is a pass catcher. And then the third thing would be a runner. And they've been slipping the ball to him a few times. And again, that's all because of Terrell Davis. I mean, the Falcons are keying on Terrell Davis, and then you counter with Howard Griffith.
You have to be impressed with the defending world champion. Davis this time. A yard or two. This, I get the impression, John, is a very, very important defensive series for Atlanta. If they can't stop him here, this thing might get out of hand.
Yeah, I don't know that it'll get out of hand because Denver's defense is very vulnerable. But the thing that impresses me is this Denver offensive line now and how well they're working together. And you can see, you know, the holes that they've given Terrell Davis and the push that they're getting on that hole. On that last play, Mark Schlereth just made a big hole on that left side.
McCaffrey moves in motion. Buchanan goes with him. And Elway drops. Pass is deflected by Travis Hall.
That's one thing that the Falcons thought that they were going to be able to do is deflect a lot of this. Here's Travis Hall here, who I think is the best defensive lineman on this team. He's really impressive. I mean, as a run player and as a pass player, there, if you can't get to the quarterback, then you try and take away the lane with your hand. And that's exactly what Travis Hall does. You see, he couldn't get to John Elway, but that passing lane that Elway had, Travis Hall could stick his hand in that passing lane.
And hit him on 2 blockers. Here's Elway. Up the middle to Ed McCaffrey. And McCaffrey dives, makes the catch, and they move those sticks again.
Well, you know, they're so tough. I mean, they give you Terrell Davis, and then this is an empty backfield formation. So they have 5 receivers, and then they just start running, and they just, you know, run. I mean, they got ins, they got outs, they got crosses, they got patterns of crosses. You watch, this guy's been doing this 16 years, and just watch him concentrate here. I mean, watch him look, feel, and when he does see the guy, a dart comes out of that right arm.
Sling it. Davis has some room around the corner, and a flag on the play. Davis got down to about the 13-yard line. The Falcon players still down. This is against Denver.
And this is excellent play calling, though. I mean, Mike Shanahan has really mixed it up well here. I mean, with the pass and the run.
Holding, 89 offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
89 is Dwayne Carswell. Shannon Sharp, in the event you might have missed it, is out for the rest of the game.
And here's Dwayne Carswell right there. Hasn't held yet.
I thought he did pretty well.
Holding or blocking?
No, blocking.
I did too. Maybe the officials on it said that block was so good he had to be holding.
At the 27. Here's Elway coming out of the pocket. Chased and dragged down. Good play by Cornelius Bennett.
Yeah, that's one of the things the Falcons had to talk about halftime is that bootleg, because remember the last time John Elway ran a bootleg where, you know, he takes Terrell Davis, fakes him to the left, he goes out to the right. It was a touchdown to Rod Smith. This time he's going to fake to the left, and then he's going to roll out here to the right. See him fake here, and now right here, Cornelius Bennett says, you got me on that in the first half. We talked about it at halftime. You're not getting it again. That'll stop the coach from calling that one, too.
Yeah. 2nd and 21. Elway gives to Davis. Davis is down after he got a couple. 3rd and long. Coming up.
Well, they finally got that thing plugged up. Remember in the first half how big those holes were over in there on that side?
Yeah.
They were running a delay or a draw. Here, there's a bad handoff here. Terrell Davis ran right into John Elway. But you see, instead of coming up the field on that one, the Falcon defense just stayed on the line of scrimmage.
Lester Archambault, who had a bad ankle, just limped off. He had a high ankle sprain.
And a bad thumb. You see that? He has a cast on his left hand.
Burrow has taken his place as the clock was down to 1 second when they got rid of it. And they won't get the first down, but they get to the 20. That's Rod Smith's fifth catch of the day.
You know, whatever that mechanism is in your brain that goes to your arm, you know, see something and then throw the ball, John Elway has the quickest.
Yep.
You know, because a lot of guys can see it, but they can't do a lot about it. But, I mean, he can see it and poof, do something about it that quick.
Whatever it is, he's had it for a long time.
Yeah, because, I mean, 16 years in this league, and before that, you know, 4 years at Stanford,
right.
4 years in high school. He's been playing this game for a long time.
And a lot of baseball in there, too. And the field goal is no good. Elam. Jason Elam is wide. And it remains Denver 17. It has not all been worked this week, has it?
No, it hasn't. I'm not exactly sure what that dance is. I think it's a mambo there. But now, how about this?
The old blue moon.
And so whatever happens in this game, we can say it's going to happen once in a blue moon. The Atlanta
We certainly
Falcons
can.
win.
That goes back 150 years, that reference to the old blue moon.
Once in a blue moon.
Chandler, play pass. Man open is Tony Martin.
Pass is complete to number 8.
Yeah, that's the thing that we were talking about just before the half here. To go to the play pass, you'll get a good fake. Now watch how this starts. It's high formation, and you're saying, we got a key on number 32, Jamal Anderson. See, so now they see how that holds that whole defense there. And now when you come out of that, then you have something like this in the other end, because there's no underneath coverage at all. You see Romanowski was supposed to be the underneath guy, but he was held by the play fake.
Couldn't get there. First down, Atlanta at their own 47. Jamal Anderson moves in motion. Chandler drops the throw. Chandler is going to take off. And Chandler scrambles for a first down to about the 41.
Yeah, it's interesting. Kozlowski finally saw him, and he made a block. That could have been a bigger run for Chandler. That's Eugene Robinson there. He dislocated his finger. They're just popping it back in, and then they'll tape it. But watch Chandler here. He finds this hole. Now, Brian Kozlowski, his fullback, is right out here. Had he made the block there before, he finally picks off that guy. But if he picked him off before, yeah, he could have made at least 10 more yards on that play.
First and 10. Anderson deep.